I'm Doug from Global West. Thought I'd take a minute here to talk to you about our trailing arms that we have for 1964 through 72 A-bodies. This includes Chevelles, GTOs, Cutlass, Skylarks. There's actually quite a few. This particular control arm that we have here, there's a pair of them here as you see. These are designed to take the standard sway bar, the factory sway bar. We have a spherical bearing in the front. This actually goes to the frame side. We want a spherical bearing here on the frame because we want to make sure that the twisting loads that the arm normally would have as the suspension goes up and down doesn't put that load into that bracket that comes off the frame. That's kind of a weak link there in a performance application. That's why we build the rear frame supports that go from the lower control arm pickup point up to the frame that actually helps support that mount. Well, by putting a bearing in there, you can see this action that we have right here. It allows it to pivot without any resistance. And that's what we want. We want to keep the load out of that frame mount. On the back here we have the Del-A-Lum bushing. This is a 6-surface design. It has a rotating sleeve with inner and outer plastic thrust washers. Del-A-Lums do not allow lateral movement. It's a straight up and straight down application. The bearing here is going to allow for that action that the differential needs to pivot in. You can see right through here, this here is where the factory sway bar would go. Normally, these arms are going to be opposed like this. The differential's here, and the sway bar attaches to the inside of the control arms. So you'll notice here we have provisions for that sway bar to attach. Now in the kit, you're going to get hardware. And you can see here we've got some spacers right here on our bolts. Now these are 7/16 bolts. Now the reason why we have these spacers here is because there's variables on how the sway bar, when it's bent to fit in between here, you know, there's variables. Sometimes you'll need these spacers to fit up perfectly inside the control arm area there. Sometimes you only may need 2, and sometimes you might need all 4. So the sway bar is not preloaded this way, it just fits directly in. So we give you all these extra parts in this particular kit to allow for proper fitment. The part number for this is a TBC4. It fits multiple applications from 64 to 72. It's a direct bolt-on. By the way, this bearing does not need lubrication. It's got a Teflon inner liner, so you won't have any squeaks, you won't have any noise. Del-A-Lums have a grease fitting right here, so they can be fully lubed. They're rifled inside, so grease penetrates the entire bushing. You won't have any squeaks or noise. This TBC4 kit does one other specific thing in performance that really helps it out, helps the rear end out, and that it controls lateral movement. Since Del-A-Lums don't allow lateral movement, and it's a straight up and straight down application, and because these are opposing angles, the differential is locked in. It can't slide side to side. It actually reduces some of the load on the upper control arm. So for drag racing, cornering, road racing, street, TBC4, definitely something you should be looking at if you have an A-body.